And a good midday Monday to you, Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin City Subaru, 802 Honda, all located off of exit 7 on Interstate 89. Looking at the big picture at large, we have a more significant trough on the west coast, producing some precipitation much needed for some parts of the region. And that particular trough is about all we have, with an exiting weak shortwave trough that's moving on out of the picture. It's been producing a little bit of cloud cover, and that's about it. A little bit of precipitation aloft is Virga. Nothing major until we get into a little bit of isolated flurries up in the northern tier regions that'll happen late overnight tonight, but we're talking about very flimsy and very limited amounts, mostly affecting the northern Green Mountains. Beyond that point, we're looking at generally dry weather, really, on Tuesday as well as Wednesday. The caveat, into the late part of the afternoon Wednesday, we could see the arrival of some rain shower activity with this trough of lower pressure pushing on to the east. That's going to set us up for a warm intrusion, and then conditions are a little bit more complicated with several different shortwave troughs. One or two of those could actually build into what could be a more light to moderate, more significant snowfall. That's all speculation, and that is beyond the period as it looks right now, or just about Saturday into the day on Sunday and beyond. Looking at the European incrementals, starting out with the 06C model, we're looking at area of higher pressure, kind of a flat ridge across a good portion of the U.S. This is our snowfall in the Sierra Nevada. And these weather systems then move up into Canada and stay generally north of the U.S.-Canadian border. That's the case here with the next weather system moving in across. However, it does drag an Arctic front or cold front in the vicinity of the very far northern tier regions, could produce a few flurries during the overnight period prior to daybreak as it looks. Then high pressure will begin to build back into the region and actually strengthen. You can see a 1040 area of higher pressure. That's going to happen during Tuesday night and into the day on Wednesday. That's going to guard us from the next weather system, slow it down, but also create some southerly channeling winds, potentially across the Champlain Valley. These look to be under thresholds. And then late in the day, a little bit of rain shower, potential some spotty freezing rain that's going to work in across Vermont during the night, basically Wednesday night into the early morning hours of Thursday. Once that does move on out, temperatures warm up overnight, and it could still affect the morning commute as it looks right now for Thursday. It's going to be kind of just getting out of town as we start to see a more warm intrusion once again work back into the region. What happens is it looks like most of that changes to rain pretty quickly, and then in the morning hours, then we get a little bit of a dry slot. Beyond that dry slot of drier air, a little bit of a lull, and then the cold front will then push back into the region. And that's going to produce some stronger winds on the backside. And that's what sets up basically on Friday morning for a little bit of marginally gusty winds. Right now it looks like a very limited situation. Any changes in this will be monitored very carefully, but that's going to be our next impacts potentially for utilities. But again, we're looking at very low-end impacts at this point. Now, beyond that point, it does look like that colder air makes it back into the northern tier regions, so the next weather system will have something to work with. It does look like the system that works in late in the day on Saturday and into probably beyond the period will bring us snow. Depending on this track, if this track then cuts further to the north, it'll be another warm intrusion with combinations of rain, sleet, snow, and potentially some wind. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that, but all that sets up basically beyond the period for Sunday and into Monday of next week. Looking at the GFS ensemble with the 3 hourly increments here, the 3 hourly QPF, this is our next weather system that's going to be pushing in late in the day on Wednesday. It's mostly a Wednesday night into Thursday event. And it does look like this is going to be a transition to basically all rain. So taking a look at the total QPF, looks like this, and we're not talking about very much in the way of precipitation. As you can see, roughly 3,500ths, maybe 4/10ths of an inch. And the latest model run is this blue line. This is the averages of the plumes of the ensemble. And you can kind of see the picture here of the little bit of precipitation of mixed types, freezing, a little bit of wet snow, maybe a little bit of sleet, and primarily a transition to rain. And then we got another situation ahead for that, according to the GFS ensemble anyway. Let's take a look at this is the QPF of the next 7 days from the Weather Prediction Center. And not a whole lot to see here, but roughly we're talking about a half inch or so of total melted precipitation. Climate Reanalyzer shows just how warm the conditions are, just coast to coast, including into eastern parts of Canada. And its opposite effect is taking place in parts of Alaska, the western part of Canada, and then back over towards Siberia. The feed has been generally like this. And looking at 2-meter temperatures, you can see the max temperatures occurring for the middle part of the week. That's going to be our warm intrusion on Thursday. And then looking at dew point temperatures, a little punch of warmer air is going to get in there with dew points in the 40s. And as far as the temperature atop Mount Mansfield, what you can see is we're going well above freezing, and this is when it changes and transitions over to rain. And the weighted temperatures, the meteorological output statistics mean for high temperatures over the next 5 days look like this, running about 9 to 12 degrees above normal. And 3 days later, it looks a little bit like this, and running about 6 degrees above normal, but still above normal. The west cold, east warm. Starting to see decent amounts of sunshine begin to work into the region for the rest of this afternoon. Enjoy. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.